The Time Traveler. In the year 2050, a brilliant young scientist named Sarah had just finished her latest invention, a time machine. She had always been fascinated by the idea of traveling through time, and after years of research and experimentation, she had finally succeeded in creating a working prototype. Excited to test out her invention, Sarah stepped into the time machine and set the dial for the year 1920. The machine whirred to life, and in a flash of light, she was transported back in time. As she stepped out of the machine, Sarah was struck by the sights and sounds of a bygone era. The streets were lined with old-fashioned cars and horse-drawn carriages, and people were dressed in clothes from a different time. Determined to explore this new world, Sarah wandered the streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the past. She visited speakeasies and jazz clubs, danced the Charleston, and even met some of the most famous people of the era. But as Sarah traveled through time, she began to realize the consequences of her actions. Every time she altered something in the past, the future would change as well. And as she meddled with history, Sarah began to understand the true power of time travel. One day, while exploring the Roaring Twenties, Sarah met a young man named Jack. They hit it off immediately, and soon they were spending all their time together. Sarah knew that she shouldn't get too attached, as any changes she made in the past could have dire consequences in the future. But she couldn't help herself. She had fallen in love. As their relationship deepened, Sarah began to worry about the impact she was having on Jack's life. If she stayed in the past, she could change everything about his future. And as she grappled with this realization, Sarah knew she had to make a choice. In the end, Sarah made the difficult decision to return to her own time. She knew that she couldn't risk changing the course of history any further, and she couldn't bear to hurt Jack by altering his future. As she stepped back into the time machine and set the dial for 2050, Sarah knew that she had learned a valuable lesson about the power of time travel. And as she stepped out of the machine and back into her own time, she was grateful for the experience, but knew that she could never go back.